Cody and Brady Vlogs. If you are new to our channel, I'm Brandy. Hello. My husband is Cody. He is in the military, and that is significant for some of the things I'm going to tell you in here. We have a little boy who is 2, almost 3 next month, and his name is Kipton. Say hi.
Hi.
Perfect timing. I'm going to hold him. I'm going to let him be in this video as much as he needs to be because I am very limited on time today. So we're just going to get started. I kind of want to go over everything from 12 weeks to what I am now, which is 16 weeks. And a little bit of that is just kind of explaining what all information we've gotten over this last few weeks or whatever. You're distracting. Okay, go play, all right? Go play. Okay, I have him over there playing with his toys for now. I'm sure he'll be back, but try and bear with me. I wrote down kind of everything that I want to touch base on, just because there was a lot of things that happened, and I'm horrible with dates, so I wrote down dates and all that jazz. So starting back to Wednesday, July 17th, that's when you guys saw we went in for our genetic ultrasound. That was great. They pricked my finger and I gave a few drops of blood. That was the non-invasive prenatal screening, which I found out was not the testing. I thought we were going in for the testing and we were going to get like the gender and all that as well. But no, that was just screening. So we left there, and 6 days later, July 23rd, we got a phone call from my doctor. She said, okay, if you hear banging in the background, it's Kipton building his blocks and I can't do anything about it. I've tried to stop him several times and he's just gonna build away. We're just gonna talk away and hopefully get through this. But anyway, so on July 23rd, 6 days after I went in for my ultrasound screening and the blood work, we got a phone call. Cody was outside and I saw my doctor was calling, so I immediately answered. I didn't call him in and ask him to sit with me during the phone call or anything, because when you get a phone call, you kind of know it's not great news, so you answer before you miss the call. So I think that's where my mind was, and by the time, honestly, by the time I even realized what was going on and what was being said, the conversation was kind of over. So basically, she called, she said, your test results came back abnormal. At your earliest convenience, come on in and we will do the NIPT, which is non-invasive prenatal testing. So I had already done the screening and it was abnormal, so they wanted me to come in and do the testing, which is a little more so it's not more intense as far as blood. They just take a couple vials, but it's more intense as far as they can actually pinpoint more with that test rather than just the screening. A lot of what she was saying on the phone felt like a blur after she said that your test came back abnormal. You kind of go into a little bit of a panic mode, or at least that's what I was doing, and I was like, oh no, this could be life-changing for our family. And so she was kind of just rambling, but not really. She doesn't have anything further really testing, or I had thought maybe she just didn't have any more information to give me. And later you'll see I talked to the genetic counselor and there was a mishap, but basically she was just saying don't worry, it's just a screening. Don't worry, it's just a screening. We don't worry, it's just a screening. She kept saying that, and I was in my head, okay, I get the don't worry part. I didn't understand it's just a screening, and I thought okay, so maybe doctors and nurses and stuff in medical field, when you hear screening, you're thinking, oh, that's not a big deal. That's just maybe the first step, which that's what I learned. It's just the first step of the testing. However, when you're telling someone that their baby's test results came back abnormal, you can't think of anything else. You're just don't worry, okay. And then next thing you know, you're worrying. And then you're like, Brandy, don't worry. And the next thing you know, you're worrying. So after that phone call, she hung up and I had to go outside and tell Cody, and he had a million questions. And then I had ultimately just wished he was in the room whenever I talked to her on the phone. But even then, I feel like she wasn't very informative. So all the answers I was giving Cody was kind of the basic gist that she was giving him. And I can only reassure Cody that this genetic counselor was supposed to be calling us. So that was on day July 23rd. So they want us to come in for further genetic testing. So all we do is go in, we're gonna get dressed real quick, go in, get more blood, and we have to wait a couple weeks to see what results come out of it. I said baby. We got dressed right then and went in, and I gave the vials of blood for the test within like a few hours of getting that phone call. One of the doctors walked by and says, does he want a donut? And Cody's like, what did you say?
Yeah.
So
halfway
good?
done with it. We've got like 5 seconds.
Show me. Hey, show me what it, let me see. It has sprinkles. Oh my goodness, that's cool. 1 week later, we went to a place called Baby Boom in Jacksonville. It was on July 30th. And all of our family came and we saw the baby on the ultrasound room, in like a big ultrasound room. They had me in the back laying down with Cody, and then there was couches in front of us, and everybody was faced the other way towards like a big projection screen. So they got to see the baby in like massive size, like on a huge wall, and they loved it. They could hear the heartbeat. She was wiggling around, she was rubbing her eyes. And the funniest thing is when the technician tried to take her heartbeat several times, and every time she would almost be done with the recording for the little stuffed animal that we had purchased. Every time she was almost done with the little recording, she would kick. So it was like, ba-dum, 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 and like we would all just die laughing. Like it was so funny that she was already a little spitfire. And heartbeat.
That was a little kick right there.
Oh my goodness.
Which we're not going to record.
Really?
See that? That was exactly what it was.
Oh my goodness.
One of those crazy kicks.
He's kicking. Or she, whatever. Maybe just That's the cutest thing ever. I did not even think I wanted one of these. That's so cute. So originally we just came for the gender, but Mom upgraded to the 3D 4D, and it came with like this and a CD of the entire, yeah, you can hold it. It came with a DVD of the entire, what's it called, recording of the whole ultrasound.
Yeah, the entire ultrasound.
So that was on the 30th of July. On the 31st, which was 8 days after I had gotten the phone call and went in to do the NIPT, I got a call from the office that I initially went to for the screening. So I have my OB office, and then they send me off to do the ultrasound and genetic testing. So that's the office that called me back that day. I spoke to the genetic counselor. She apologized for not being able to reach out to me quicker. We kind of played phone tag those entire 8 days between her being sick or not in the office, or you know, whatever. We were missing each other's calls. I think I missed one, but she missed quite a few of mine because I'm the one on the end like, hey, did you get my test? Hey, did the test come back? Hey, what do these mean? You know, all that jazz. So this is what I was talking about earlier, was a little mishap. The results passed her and went back to my OB, and that's where we got that very quick, speedy, you know, vague phone call from my OB. So when the genetic counselor did call, she said that the results from the ultrasound were completely normal. They normally look for a nasal bone and the amount of fluid behind a baby's neck, and she said those were normal. However, where it kind of flagged me was my blood work. She said with the blood work, they look at HCG value levels, and mine were high. And then she looks at PAP-A levels, and mine were low. And then alpha fetal protein, and mine were low again. Based off of the screening ultrasound, my blood work, and my age, it flagged me and put me in a targeted group, which led us to the NIPT to do that blood test. So I know y'all heard all that, but I think she said California time, once they get their lab up and running, we probably will find out today or tomorrow. And I don't know if that means she's going to call us or what. I'm still so confused, and I'll explain it later as far as what the referral issue is going on. But that was good news.
Don't judge us for washing our pillowcases because we had a mishap on one of the
Before we got this call, me and Kipton were about to nap on these pillows without pillowcases.
They're up there.
That's good news. And she did explain a lot. So we're still not 100% in the clear, but as you guys heard, that was like really good news. So until we have a reason to worry, she said don't worry.
Which is good.
Mm-hmm. She said it was about a 216 to 1. So she said in like a percentage, I'm 99.5% chance that I was carrying a genetically normal baby, and there was a 0.5% that I was carrying a genetically abnormal baby. So she definitely said my odds were really good. And then she kind of went into, however, the tests aren't 100%, and we're going to definitely check in at my anatomy scan in 2 weeks. We were having an issue too in the meantime with insurance, because with our last son, we had him on a military base, and then with our daughter, we're having her at a regular local hospital because the military base, I guess, just doesn't have a labor and delivery unit, or maybe they just don't do dependents, whatever the case may be. They sent us out, and then now we're like battling TRICARE with what they're gonna pay for or whatnot, and I know that they'll all get figured out, but that's just something in the middle of it that's like stressful. But good news, after that phone call that day after the phone call with the genetic counselor, we got a call, and Cody had to go into work. He was on leave actually, and he had to go into work, and that's where he found out that he was selected to make chief in the Navy. So he was super excited about that. He went on in, and he's been go, go, go ever since. I really don't think we really understood what all was ahead of us with this whole chief thing. August 1st, I got a phone call around 8 a.m., and it was just very short and sweet. She said the results came back, and they're totally fine. No genetic abnormalities, nothing that was flagged or anything like that, and they did find out the gender. And she was like, did you want to know the gender? And I like giggled, and I was like, no, I gotta hold off, because actually that's the weekend we were finding out what we were having. And spoiler alert, it's a girl. So you haven't watched that video, go watch it. It's the cutest little reveal video I feel like ever, but I'm a little biased. Okay, so that kind of brings us to now. I am 16 weeks, and I just want to go over a couple little TMI things. So if you are a guy watching this, or just don't want to hear about my pregnancy TMI things, go ahead and click off. Thank you for watching. And if you are pregnant and kind of want to know what's all going on, I'm going to go over some of the things some of the symptoms I've been having these last few weeks, and then we'll wrap up this video. So week 13 to 16, nausea is almost completely gone. I'll get it, like I got it yesterday after not having it for like, I swear, 5 days. So that's really awesome. Acne has settled down a little bit, so that's awesome. Like all these things are like getting better. It hurts to sneeze, which is really weird. Whenever I sneeze, I have to like hold my stomach, and pelvis for round ligament pain have been really intense, especially if I'm walking around a lot. I'll get pressure down there and on my on the sides of my pelvis. It's like really dull, achy, crampy pains. It's not the best. So here's the TMI part. You know, I feel like my baby girl is bringing me all the crazy symptoms, you know, acne, smelly, y'all know I was mentioning that a couple weeks ago, and now it's discharge. I've had it ever since the beginning of the pregnancy, but it's gotten to the point where I'm like having to make sure I'm wearing liners and stuff, and I know it's really common. However, it's not the funnest part of pregnancy. So yeah, that's that. And the final and like most exciting thing ever so far this week has been that I've been feeling her kick this week. I've been feeling a lot whenever I lay down at night and it's quiet and it's just like me and her and I'm just rubbing my belly. I can definitely feel her kick then, but I feel her in the car. I feel her all day here and there, and I even feel her on the outside of my belly with my hands. So we're trying to get my husband to be able to feel her, but the times of the days that he's home is not really the times that I'm awake to help him confirm if it was a kick or not. Okay guys, that's it for this week's baby update. Thank you guys for watching. Please like it, subscribe, and share this video. And we will see you guys in the next vlog or baby update. Bye.
Bye. That's what we do now. Playing on the how window. We make it down the bomb and bye. I get yours hands is fire and go parmeal in the town. Bye. I got yours and one can party get party. My shirts and the girl buying the chips. Bye.